Hi, welcome to another video from Habas Kitchen. Today, as requested by a follower, I'm going to show you how to make moussaka. So the ingredients for this vegan moussaka are 3 large potatoes. We can use 4 medium, just needs to be about 1 kilo. A medium onion, 2 cloves of garlic, 1 red pepper, and 2 medium aubergines, which is about 400 grams. And then it will be a tablespoon of ground allspice, 400 gram tin of chopped tomatoes. That's 150 grams of red lentils. Now they are dried, so uncooked. If you're using a tin, it just needs to be just one 400 gram tin. Now that's for the base. So for the white sauce, which is the topping to the moussaka, I'm going to be using 400 ml of coconut milk, 4 tablespoons of nutritional yeast, and just a teaspoon of nutmeg. That's ground nutmeg. If you wanted a slightly thicker sauce, you can add corn flour to that, but I'm just going to show you the basic white sauce. So as you can see, there's a few things that we need to make this moussaka. There's a small saucepan which will be for the white sauce, and just a large saucepan which I'm going to boil the potatoes in. I'm going to use a large frying pan which will be just for the main base, all the lentils and tomatoes, etc. And to actually bake it in, bake the moussaka, I've got a Pyrex dish, so that's obviously just a large dish. So let's get started. So the first thing we need to do is to get these potatoes boiling. So as I'm using large, I'm going to boil them for 25 minutes. So if you're just using medium, just take that down to about 20 minutes. So just make sure they're fully submerged. No need to peel them, just make sure they're washed first. So the next thing to do is just peel and chop all of the veg. Starting with the onion. So with that peeled, I'm just going to chop it. Just needs to be roughly chopped. And the same with the garlic, so just peeled, and you can either mince it or just finely chop it. And following on from that, just the red pepper. So obviously just scoop out the insides, all the seeds. And then again just roughly chop. Okay, so as that chopped, we're going to slice the aubergine once all of this is cooking. Right, so obviously the next thing to do is get the stove lit and heat up some oil, just a tablespoon of oil on a medium heat. So that's that lit. So yeah, just medium heat. Don't want to take long to heat up. So we get those straight onto there. So I'm going to put all of these on here together. So that's the onion, garlic and red pepper. And start sauteing those straight away. Just for sort of 5 minutes, just so that's all nice and softened before we add the spice. We just keep moving that around the saucepan. Make sure all that onion is separated and then just wait for it all to soften. So once all the onion, garlic and red pepper have softened, we can add the allspice, which as I said was just a tablespoon. You can either have the whole tablespoon now, or you can split it between now and when you've added the lentils. I'm just going to get it all in there now. Just give it a quick stir around. Now with the oil on the onions and garlic and peppers, that spice just gives it a nice coating. And then we can add the tomatoes. So no need to drain or rinse these or anything, you can just get them in. And then what I do once the tomatoes are in there, take the heat down a little bit, is actually fill this tin with just tap water and tip that in as well. And what that will do is give us some fluid for the lentils to soak up. If you've read your bag of lentils, your dried lentils, it will probably tell you to boil them in, cook them in boiling water for about 15 to 20 minutes. So that's exactly what we're going to do here, only we've got it with onions, garlic and pepper in there as well. So I'm just going to bring that up to the boil before I add the peppers, before I add the lentils. And just while we're bringing that up to the boil, I'll measure out the lentils. So it's just 150 grams. And that should give us about 320-330 grams of cooked lentils once they're cooked. So obviously with the lentils in this recipe, it makes it a good recipe if you're trying to sort of get a protein boost. They have 100 grams of 100 grams of cooked lentils has at least 7 grams of protein, which is one of the highest. I think it's the highest legume. So I'm just stirring those lentils through just to make sure they're evenly spread around. So once that's up to the boil, we're just going to leave it now, just reduce the heat slightly, just down to a simmer for about 15 to 20 minutes. Obviously that's depending on what it says on your packet of dried lentils. We'll leave it uncovered, just so that the whole mixture thickens up nicely, so we're just letting a lot of the moisture escape. And obviously most of it will be absorbed by the lentils anyway. So you do need to keep an eye on it and keep stirring it throughout the 20 minutes. And obviously if it starts to look a little bit dry, you can top it up with some water, just use the same tin again. And again, that will depend on what brand of lentils you use as to their sort of absorption rate. Just keep an eye on it, make sure nothing sticks and make sure the lentils are actually cooking. So when you're towards the end of the lentils cooking, so when you're sort of 10-15 minutes into it, it's a good idea to start slicing the aubergines. And literally all we have to do is just cut them into discs, so they're easier to build a layer up in the Pyrex dish. So I'm just making mine less than 1 centimetre thick. Okay, so obviously the final thing to do as well is take the potatoes off the heat and just check that they are tender and ready to start cutting. So with the potatoes, I'm just going to stick a knife into them, and if the knife comes straight back out without picking a potato up, they're ready. And they are. So I'm just going to leave those to cool just for a couple of minutes, just while the lentils finish off. I'm going to get ready to start assembling this moussaka. So what I'll do is just drop no more than sort of a teaspoon of oil into the bottom of the dish. I'm also going to start preheating the oven, so that'll be 220 degrees or 200 fan assisted. And I'm going to drain the potatoes. You can just sit there until we need them. So the lentils now, they've all sort of bulked up a bit. And most of the fluid is gone. Still a little bit in there, but that's what we want because we're just going to put them in the oven for 10 minutes or so now anyway, so the rest of that will evaporate. So we've got a nice thick mixture here which will create some nice layers within the moussaka. I'm going to take that off the heat. So with the potatoes, we also need to cut them into discs. Now at this point the skin might start to come off, that doesn't matter. It also doesn't matter if the skin stays on, so it's just sort of take them as they come really. Again, no more than 1 centimetre thick for the discs. This is so we can create nice even layers within this moussaka. So starting with a layer of potato, I'm just going to line the very bottom of the dish. It doesn't have to be a complete layer, just try and cover as many gaps as you can. And we're basically going to we're going to do a layer of potato, a layer of aubergine, and then a layer of the lentil mixture. And we'll just repeat that until we run out of mixture. And we'll try and finish with a layer of aubergines on top. Okay, so that's the aubergines on. And just a layer of the lentil mixture. And I can see I'm probably going to just get 2 layers of the lentil mixture here, so I'll try and use the potatoes and aubergine accordingly. Okay, so another layer of potatoes. And another layer of aubergine. Dip the rest of that mixture on there now. And then just the final layer of aubergines. Okay, so it's not quite a complete layer, but we're going to cover that with some white sauce anyway. Okay, so let's leave that there. That should just sink in a little bit as well. So what we're going to do now is make the white sauce, and then we're ready. So we need to light the stove again. So it's just over medium heat again. So we're going to tip the coconut milk straight into that. So I've got the full fat coconut milk. I'm going to tip the whole thing into there, including the cream on top. That'll just give us a nice thick creamy sauce. Okay, once that has softened up a bit, we can start adding the nutritional yeast. So it's 4 tablespoons. So let's stir that in as well. So as I said, at this point you can add corn flour if you like, and that really does thicken it up. It makes it a lot more like a sort of traditional moussaka topping. And I'm also going to add the nutmeg, just a teaspoon. So as I said, just keep stirring that. You do have to put some effort into this one. Okay, so that's starting to thicken up nicely now. It can take sort of between 5 and 10 minutes to get to the right thickness. As I said, you can speed that up by adding the corn flour. Once you've got a nice thick white sauce, you can then start to add it on top of the moussaka. And it should be kind of like ideally you want sort of like a yogurt sort of texture. Otherwise, as I said, it will tend to kind of just go down between the layers, which isn't a problem. You see mine is ready to go on. Just going to pour that all over the top. There should be enough to give it a good coating. And we should just stay within the dish there. And you could actually sprinkle either some nutritional yeast flakes or some, if you've got some vegan cheese, like a vegan Parmesan cheese sort of thing, you could use some of that to sprinkle on top of it. So we're now just going to put that in the oven uncovered for about 10 minutes. So once that comes out of the oven, it should look something like this. So it's starting to brown slightly, but it's nice and thick. Everything seems to have cooked through, the aubergines have softened slightly. It's ready to eat. So that's now ready to serve. So you can serve that with some nice steamed veg or something like that. We're going to have it with cauliflower and broccoli. It goes with quite a number of things anyway, so I'll leave you to choose what to serve it with. So as I mentioned at the start of the video, this was requested by one of our viewers. If you'd like us to veganise any of your favourite recipes, please leave a comment down below. Also like and subscribe this video. I'll see you next time.